The BRL. We are on round 8 now. We're going into one of my favourite tracks, Bahrain, a nice night circuit. 29 laps in total across a nice short little qualifying. We'll be here for another while. Just heading into qualifying straight away. I've timed this magically well, like perfectly. But as we run straight into qualifying, let's go. Not long out, heading into qualifying. Bahrain is quite an interesting track. We got 3 DRS zones, so it's one of the only tracks on the calendar that has 3. So drivers will be keeping that in mind to maybe run a couple of little low downforce. But then you've got corners like turn 10 and turn 14 and turn 13 as well that really require a lot of downforce. Even turn 12, that's a really high downforce. That long right-hander, it's one that easily catches a lot of people out. So I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of people put on a bit of higher front wing downforce to be able to tuck into some of these corners, but maybe then have a lower rear wing to possibly, because traction, however, I say that, traction out the first couple of corners, vital. So let's turn on our lovely telemetry and track map. We have got a Mercedes that has left the pit lane first. It's going to be Aidan Gray, someone that I don't recognise that name, but Aidan Gray will be the first man to set a lap time today. There he is, up into the technically first of the lap, and DPRW has been disqualified already for blocking the pit lane, so he showed up for literally, oh no, that's mean. That's mean. These cars having an absolute mare. What on earth has occurred? I don't quite know what's occurred. I don't quite know what's happened. But I'm pretty sure it's a moment to feel sorry for him. One of our fastest drivers, J-Horse, will be one of the first drivers to set a time. He's going to be second across the line, so as long as he actually puts a time on the board, he will be one of the first to qualify. But it will be Aidan Gray that puts his time down first, so we'll follow along with him, as nearly every single car is out on circuit right now. So check back in about 2 minutes time, and I reckon we'll be seeing a lot of times being posted, so we'll sort of just watch out for everyone. Unfortunately, I don't have as good TV graphics as normal F1, so I don't know who's out on the track first. It just tells me times, which is ever so slightly annoying. That would be very helpful to have, but there we go. Who knows, maybe that's something for F1 Manager. Fun and all, but you may as well just put it into the F1 game, couldn't you? So he is now setting his first timed lap. Sector 1 is quite a short one with just one heavy braking zone and then just a ever so slight lift here, and then that's a 28.5. So I don't know whether that's good or not. I don't know whether that's bad. I can't really lie. But we shall watch on board. Let's see what J-Horse is going to set. Just missed it. But he has gone purple, so he is beating Aidan currently. There is another Mercedes between them, so that's obviously Joachim, but he's on his outlap, so he's not technically. He is in between them on track, but not in a position where he's going to interfere at all with timings. So wrapping around that, lots of downforce. He goes fastest sector 2 with, I don't actually know. J-Horse though is someone else that we should be following around sector 2. Will he then go fastest? He will go fastest, so expect J-Horse to jump straight to the top of the leaderboard just after Aidan goes and sets this lap into the DRS zone to finish the lap. He sets a 128.2, but expect that to possibly get knocked off quite quickly, as here comes the Ferrari. hits DRS across the line, 127.7. So a big gap forming already, half a second back to the only other driver that set a lap time. It's going to be a Aston Martin. It's going to be Mr. Cookie to set a lap time next by the looks of it. Nearly everyone's on a flying lap right now, or an in-lap. Only 2 drivers on an in-lap. Everyone else is on a flyer past Scotty, who's only one in the pits. He's sets a pretty decent lap time there as the McLaren comes across. He goes, Mechanical Cole goes. Quick Killers goes to the top of the timing tables in the Red Bull Racing Honda. Cross comes a Alpine, I think that was. I think that's to start a lap. And now another Ferrari, Never Fear Andy's here, has had an absolute rev. But Ryan DJ in the Williams has come and set a 127 dead. Only just beating Quick Killers, but is dominating straight from the off. A couple more drivers beginning to set some times. That Sim guy not getting the best of times in there. 1.8 seconds off the pace of the leader. All of a sudden, we're starting to see a few more competitive drivers into this league. Tables are turning. Times are shifting well and truly. If we take a little look in the drivers' standings, J Horse currently leads on That Sim Guy and R. Henson. R. Henson isn't here. No. But people like Quick Killers is down all the way in P10. He's all the way down in P10. And DJ isn't on there. So DJ just showing up one day and all of a sudden P2. After our first quali run, Joachim's gone even faster by a considerable amount. He's put 2/10 on Ryan DJ. He's gone P1 in that lovely Mercedes. He currently sits P5 in the championship. So that's someone to look out for gaining some points today. Taking a little look at Constructors, seeing who wants some points here. Ferrari currently still dominating heavily. Mercedes overtook Williams last time round. However, only three points between them, so expect some madness to happen there. Aston Martin and AlphaTauri, only 2 points between those two, and with just the one Aston Martin out on track today, this is AlphaTauri's opportunity. Oh no, there's only one AlphaTauri out there as well, so it's going to be Mr. Cookie versus That Sim Guy for the race. They're going to be battling each other, even if it's not actually between them. Crazy Dutchman has been an absolute nutter and put another 10th on Joachim. So all of a sudden, time started in the 128s. We've got down into the 126.7s already. Like, sizably into the 126s. Times are changing very, very quickly as he just limps it home. So desperately trying to limp it home. With 10 minutes left on the clock, 8 minutes completed, or 7.5 currently. Most people have set a time now. It's only Scotty and Smiley that haven't set a lap time, along with Alexis Sanchez and DPRW, but they're not currently in the session, so we don't have to worry about that. A few more people getting on out laps now. Quick Killers, Ryan DJ, J Horse and Aiden Gray all running out laps currently. There's a few other people dive into the pit lane. Currently our first is going to be Quick Killers that's out on track first, by the looks of it. And then I think J Horse just behind. And then behind him, Aiden. Yes. So, Quick Killers, J Horse, Aiden. Then it will be another Ferrari. It'll be Never Fear Andy's here to set a time after that. And then I think it's Chaz Knight Rider after him. No, Chaz Knight Rider's not on an out lap. Ryan. It's Ryan. So we shall watch the Red Bull. The Red Bull will be the first to set a time out of these three for round two. McLaren coming out. That's probably mechanical. It's Scotty. Scotty out now, along with Mr. Cookie just behind him. And that's one of the Hasses leaving. So it is Aeroblake, has to be. Aeroblake, been quite quiet this season, currently sitting P5 in the championship. Absolutely dominated Tier 2 when that existed, if you remember that. A couple more people beginning to pull out already. Quick Killers comfortably into his flying lap, getting very, very close on the exit there, really pushing those limits. As J-Horse isn't that far behind at all, so he's going to get a nice carry on throughout that. J-Horse setting the fastest purple time currently as Aeroblake massively cuts that corner just to stay within that Ferrari's grasp. The Ferrari is obviously on a flyer, so he is absolutely sending it round these corners. Opens up DRS. Quick Killers also heading down this straight and into the braking zone now. Swinging it around 11 and through 12. It's a nice flowing section up to this high right-hander before we drop back down again for turns 14 and 15 to start the lap, as there is a yellow flag where the Aston Martin is. That get cleared up nice and quickly. The Red Bull Honda now about to come across the line. He's not going to set a time. He's decided not to. He's pulled into the pit lane. And J-Horse goes fastest with a 1:26.4. Obliterating the Crazy Dutchman's time by 0.3 of a second. Aiden Gray has put in a really solid time as well. He moves himself up to P4 from the grid. And Ryan, with just a couple more corners to go around. Never fear, Andy's here. Watch out. He's about to cross the line next. See where he jumps. He doesn't. He decides to pull into the pit lane. He goes across the line though. Ryan DJ getting very close to J-Horse. 0.08 of a second. Nearly 0.09 of a second. And he puts himself P2 with that time. So Crazy Dutchman and Joachim both got time to gain here if they want to get themselves back up into that front running positions. Both still electing to stay in the pit lane though. Neither of them coming out. They're going to probably now wait until the last couple of minutes to set a time. I'm pretty sure is their intentions, which makes total and utter sense. I can't lie. We'll see how they do. And we're seeing the Crazy Dutchman had decided to go for his outlap now. So he's setting a bit of an earlier time. Joachim still in the pit lane though. How long is it going to be until he elects to leave? There he is, right in the bottom right hand side of your screen. The Swede. I'm wondering how long it's going to be until he decides to head out. Chaz Knight Rider out of the session for some reason or another. P12 currently. Just with Never Fear Andy's here and Scotty behind him. Both of which are now on an outlap. But this is the man to look out for. Number 2, AlphaTauri, the Crazy Dutchman, could be on to set a very, very strong lap time. And I believe, no, that is Aiden that is on his outlap currently. The Crazy Dutchman just starting. So we'll see how on earth he gets on. Let's follow him around this lap. That's Simba all the way down in P11. Someone very, very close and high up in the driver's standings. This guy's P2 in driver's standings, and he finds himself P11 in qualifying today. That is not where he would have wanted to have seen himself. He's got to gain at least 0.3 across this lap, currently leveling his time. No improvement made 0.2 of a second lost within the first sector. So he's got a lot to do in these next two sectors, and he needs a 1/10.5 in both. Where can he absolutely optimise his corners, his exits? That seemed pretty decent. That was a very quick DRS as well. Let's see how he does. Coming along the back straight now, as I say, he needs to get 3/10. We got our next timing screen just after turn 12, heading into 13. Round the corner we go. He has improved just under a 1/10. He does go the fastest sector 2 time though. He's going to need a miracle here. It's only one corner, only one braking zone, and he needs 2/10, over 2/10, to pull out a gap and get pole position. He comes across the line. Will he set the time? He won't. He will get very, very close though. He absolutely nailed that last corner, or last two corners, because he puts himself P2, less than 300ths of a second from J-Horse. But that's all he's going to be able to do, and Ryan DJ is on an outlap to try and beat that time. So expect something from him as he's just sort of slowing down, just trying to build a bit more of a gap to the Haas. Unsurprisingly, it is quite close really in proximity, especially when we see times. He would probably push about 0.6 of a second. He's gone into the pit lane anyway. This is now Ryan DJ's opportunity to go and set a time. Joachim finally leaving the pit lane. He's decided to finally elect to go out onto track. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Here we see he is just behind a man who is in a good position to fight for pole right now. That Sim guy has put in an absolutely lovely lap. If you haven't already noticed, he's put himself 4th on the grid currently. But obviously there is room for improvement. Up at the top of the grid. You see he's been doing pretty well so far. I haven't been keeping an eye on the sector times. The first sector time isn't one particularly to be worried about. It's the final, it's sector 2. Sector 2 is important, and obviously sector 3 is the most important. Sector 2, what's he going to do? He is up on his time. He's not improving. In fact, he's going slower this lap than he did last. Can he possibly get any quicker through these last two braking zones? Accelerating out of the last one of the lap. Is he going to decide he is going to go to the line? So he probably has improved. No, he remains P3. It's now these two to look out for. Joachim and Aero Blake both on outlaps with just moments to go in this qualifying session. There'll be some of the two last people to set a lap time. And J-Horse has elected to go for another time. I didn't realise that. Getting a toe off of Never Fear Andy's here. That is a great decision. Never Andy's here, quite clearly giving that toe down the line as he now pulls away. Mr. Cookie has gone and set the fastest lap by a considerable margin. He's been doing mediocre this entire qualifying session, and he's just gone and pulled that out of the bag. He's put 0.152 seconds on J-Horse. It's made everyone out there look slow. That Sim guy is now half a second off the pace. Joachim's got a lot of work to do even to get up into a half decent position now. And so Aero Blake's not going to set a time. He did improve, but he invalidated it, I'm pretty sure. Poor sod. Mr. Cookie has come out with an absolutely stonking lap. J-Horse though is up on time, but considerably as well. 0.14 seconds through. See, when I first saw that, he's nearly 2/10 up. He has gone fastest. Can he keep this momentum going? He could go and take this off of Mr. Cookie now. Joachim's going to set the lap before him though. How's he doing? He's not improving. Is he going to pull straight into the pit lane? He does pull straight into the pit lane, so it's now all eyes on J-Horse as he comes across. The final DRS time. Is he going to set it? He is going to set it. half a tenth quicker than Mr. Cookie. Nearly a quarter of a second up on P3. J-Horse has come across and set provisional pole position. And I'm pretty sure that is certain pole position. And it's desperation for Mr. Cookie. Knowing he did all he could. He set an absolutely phenomenal time for it to be taken away right at the last moment. Poor thing. What an amazing... yeah, Cookie sandbagging. Mr. Cookie had a 126.1 on an invalid soft lap. Damn, if he'd have done that, that would have been lap of the century to pull that one out of the bag. So, what a qualifying that was. J-Horse topping the tables with a really quick lap. Then Mr. Cookie in P2 and the Crazy Dutchman falling back, but still manages to pull P3 out of it. And then it's our Henson, then that Sim guy, Quick Killers, Joachim, Aero Blake, Aiden Gray, Scotty, Mechanical Cole, Smiley, Never Fear Randy's here, Chaz Knight Rider, Alexis Sanchez, and DPRW lines out all 16 drivers we're going to have on the grid today. We absolutely love just about making that time up, giving us our quali rundown and even the race rundown as well. No, that one is substantially longer, so it's not quite as satisfying. Heading into the race now, we have a 50% race ahead of us, 29 laps of pure racing here under the night sky of Bahrain, one of the nicest tracks on the grid, and home to recently the opening race of the season for quite some time now. Actually, they've had it for a few years now over Australia, but then again, Australia has just not been having any races just in general. So we get underway for the formation lap currently taking place. So, predicted stop strategies. It is a two-stop race here in Bahrain, which is one of the only tracks on the grid that really gives a good two-stop opportunity as the primary stop. Usually a two-stop is the alternative one, but no, here in Bahrain it's the primary. This is the one you want. You want the two-stopper, which is a rarity, but it's always nice to have a nice change in plan, if that makes sense, you know. So coming across now, a couple already coming onto the grid somehow or another. Don't ask me how. So the first cars begin to line up on the grids. And now we focus towards the back of the grid. They're all very, very close together actually, which isn't particularly common, especially in league racing. I mean, it's definitely more common in normal racing as it is in league. Just the last drivers lining up now. We'll just keep flicking between these two cameras until we get our starting camera. We go to 5 red lights and we're away, and it's a quick start for J-Horse. The Aston Martin doesn't get the best of starts at all, and Crazy Dutchman moves up into P2 as we get away off the line. We go 3 abreast, ever so slightly behind as the 2 fight for P2 as the AlphaTauri doesn't quite get the better exit, and it goes to the Aston Martin after the start. Mr. Cookie holds P2. The Williams, you can see out there, very, very wide out. And a couple of moves being made. DBRW pulling his way up the grid very, very quickly actually. Just absolutely flying through. Doing a very, very good job indeed, but it is J-Horse that is absolutely flying away with this, as all the other drivers keep very, very close to one another. Mechanical Cole beginning to drop off the back of DBRW there. You can see the timings saying so, but everyone keeping to quite a linear position at the start of this race. So far, very lackluster movements at the front. All these drivers just keeping to themselves, to be honest. None of them particularly getting a bit leery with each other, none particularly fighting. That's some guy holding P4 currently, Ryan DJ, or our Henson in the Williams right now. And that is a car stopped on at turn 2, I think that was. That was Chaz Knight Rider stops at turn 2. Hence why he is so far from the back of the grid. As these two battling it into turn 1. The AlphaTauri's got the outside line, but will have the inside line for the next one, but he doesn't quite get the better exit. He tried to switch back, but it hasn't worked, and that has opened the door for that sim guy to possibly be able to try the move here, as DRS is now open, as you can see, but no. Crazy Dutchman also having DRS just completely denied that opportunity. pushes Mr. Cookie up to P2. Crazy Dutchman still holding on to P3, but Alpha Tauri having an amazing race weekend right now, holding P3 and P4 in the race. If they can keep this up, we could see a really solid result for them in the Constructors as Smiley gets a penalty, and that Sim guy makes an amazing move around that Crazy Dutchman. He's just absolutely sent it around the outside. Unbelievable move from him. Right, very well done for him. Solid result as per usual for that Sim guy. He's getting used to doing some pretty decent races actually. Noticed. And that Crazy Dutchman now under fire from Aeroblake as we get an absolutely useless camera angle. Across goes Aeroblake, and across goes that Sim guy who gets the move done on Mr. Cookie as well. Mr. Cookie now has a good opportunity to fight back. He will have DRS. He's going to have to go to the outside though. They're going to go side by side into turn 4. Mr. Cookie getting the slightly better exit out of that corner, but it's going to be the AlphaTauri that has the inside line, but it's going to be the Aston Martin that has the inside line for the next one, and it's going to be the Aston Martin. Oh no, they're still side by side. Neither of them wants to give it up. Yeah, that Sim guy though, just about getting the better exit there, has pulled that one off and out the back. Fair play to him. Just getting a slight weave on, just breaking that toe ever so slightly. Just keeping Mr. Cookie behind, but it's obviously going to be under fire once again at the very next straight, so be wary of that. Across he comes. He's looking in a decent position right now. Mr. Cookie isn't going to be able to gain that much time that quickly, is he? No. But he will be in a pretty decent position now to possibly be able to make a move on this DRS straight. He's only half a second back. Can he claw back the time quick enough? The answer to that is no, he cannot. So it looks like that Sim guy has quite possibly got that corner, that track position well under control now. It's going to be difficult for Mr. Cookie to be able to stay in that toe long enough to be able to claw back the time needed to be able to make a move. It seems that that Sim guy is comfortably now in P2. Now all that will be on his mind is catching J Horse up in P1. He's still running as the front runner. 1.5 seconds in front of everyone else. And that is Mr. Cookie, who's decided to come into the pit lane on lap 6. God knows why. But yeah, he is elected to come into the pit lane on lap 6 of 29. So whether he's trying a very alternate strategy or whether he's just got damage, I'm not too sure. But it's going to be one or the other of that. He's shoved on a set of mediums. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. far this, however, it has been quite a quiet one. However, I say that, as soon as I say that, the Crazy Dutchman is in the wall and that Sim guy is in the pit, so it's going to be a double stop for Alpha Tauri. I'm not quite sure whether that was intentional or not. No, because that Sim guy would have been in much earlier than the Crazy Dutchman. It's just that the Crazy Dutchman has crashed quite a lot. So that Sim guy is already out. So I don't think it's going to all have much problem. It comes out P7. Let's take a little look at who has decided to make pit stop. Oh, a lot of people have made pit stop. Okay, maybe that wasn't quite as outrageous of a decision as I made it out to be. I didn't realise that many people had in fact made a pit stop. Right now, however, this is our closest battle. It is the battle for P3 currently. Obviously barring the 3-second time penalty of our Henson. Even this is beginning to open out. It's very, very quiet on track actually. Not many moves being made at all. This looks like the most likely move to be made as Ryan, DJ and Quick Killers both dive into the pit lane. It's now on for Mr. Cookie to be able to get past that Sim guy in a battle that he's been hoping to win. They go down into turn one, side by side again, the AlphaTauri slightly worse off this time, and it is a comfortable move for Mr. Cookie. Mr. Cookie, I think slightly earlier in, has optimised that undercut nicely and has got the move done. So, fair bit of movement made so far. However, we've got to take a little look at stops when considering who is where. Mechanical Cole and Aero Blake yet to pit, so both of those will have to pit at some point. Same with J-Horse, but I think J-Horse is comfortably in front when we look at stops to leader. It's 21 seconds and Aero Blake is out of the race. There, so he's obviously caught. Oh, that is a horrible one. I know exactly what's occurred here. He's caught the curb there, roughly about there-ish, and has just gone spinning out to there. And that causes a safety car. This is a good opportunity for Mechanical Cole, though. He can get in, and now elects to do so. He's taken the bait. Unsurprisingly, so has J-Horse. They're both going to get practically free pit stops. J-Horse most likely is going to be out before anyone else comfortably. And I think Mechanical Cole is probably going to benefit from this quite a lot. Aero Blake just electing to leave the session. Unsurprisingly, I'd do the same. Yes, Mechanical Cole coming out P6 after that stop has gone quite well for him indeed. He has pulled that one out of the bag nicely, to say the least. And now we wait for about 3 laps whilst everyone joins up for the safety car. as we get ready for the safety car restart. It'll be Jay Horse that starts it. Will he get ready? He goes straight away after the final corner, and we are underway once again. Here in Bahrain, the green lights are away. Swapping back to interval now, we see the Williams just getting out on the outside. So did the Mercedes behind Aidan Gray. Had a little peek up the inside, but didn't decide to make a move in the end. Not a whole lot of movement made after the safety car restart. In total, our best driver so far is mechanical goal, but that would have been because of the absolute strategical masterpiece that took place. He absolutely nailed the timing of that safety car restart, of that safety car, and coming into the pit lane. Not a whole lot of overtaking took place for that to occur, to be honest. DRS now enabled again. We could possibly see some more overtakes taking place down this lap. The Williams having to go defensive, the McLaren on soft tyres. Having a little look on the inside, they're softs, they're fresher. Mechanical coal should be in theory quicker than our Henson. He does go up the inside. Gets a solid move done, but our Henson comes back with a nice little switchback. Can't quite get the move done, unfortunately. A bit of movement at the back. Joachim pushing up, and Scotty managing to stay in the clear. I think there was a yellow flag incident of sorts, but that has been cleared up now. We don't have to worry about that. Red Bull getting very close to the back of that sim guy there. Could possibly see a move in the making in the not too distant future. These three drivers are very drivers. That sim guy getting past on the straight. Expect to see Mr. Cookie bounce back here now, as lots of weaving there, as I just trying to keep on the move. Not quite going to plan. That sim guy comfortably now at the front here. 3 seconds to the leader, J-Horse, as we are coming up to the halfway point in this race. All drivers doing rather well indeed. Just attempting to close that gap as much as possible, but that sim guy looking once again comfortably in front of this lot, pulling away significantly, as it's seeming Mr. Cookie finding it a little bit difficult to get himself to front, unfortunately for him. Back, Quick Killer's not that far back from Mr. Cookie either. It is a three-way battle for only 2 podium places. So right now it's looking quite challenging indeed, as one of these people are going to miss out on a position. Quick Killers has got a really good corner there, and I think he's got a good opportunity to pull in line with Mr. Cookie, especially considering the fact that it's going to be now. Mr. Cookie's not going to... Oh no, they are going to have DRS. They just pulled all the way over to the left-hand side there for some reason or another, just to try and break the tub as much as possible. Crazy Dutchman getting a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings, unluckily for him. Order still staying the same currently. No movement currently taking place. Most people staying the same. Mechanical Cole deciding to come in to the pits. He was on soft tyres. They were getting a little bit old by the looks of it. Getting very, very close there into the area. Very, very little movement in in anywhere really. No one really making all that many overtakes, to say the least. Everyone's quite by themselves. These drivers we were expecting to get quite close to one another. Not occurring. Both that Sim guy and Mr. Cookie decide to come into the pit lane. Opens up for very, very little close racing whatsoever. The closest is literally a second between each other. I can't really talk about much if no one's close enough to each other to have a pop, if that makes sense. I've kind of got to just sit here and wait. as that is Joachim and Quick Killers that have both elected to come into the pit lane. They're now coming out, fallen down the order a little bit with 8 laps remaining, 9 laps including the ones that we are on. So I think J-Horse isn't far away, he's about halfway through it, so 8.5 laps remain. Who have both found themselves back up at the top of the grid again. Mr. Cookie now retakes the lead of the race, finally. Now, all Mr. Cookie needs to do is to pull away at least a second. His J-Horse hasn't had the best of couple of laps, all on 2 stops, but J-Horse now a net behind. Mr. Cookie going second fastest. See what tyres everyone is on. As that Sim guy has a little peek around the outside, decides not to go for it, but J-Horse, 2 lap younger tyres, his job is to now pull away. And try and get past these two with his slightly nicer tyres, but it's going to be difficult. He's got 2 of the fastest drivers on the grid with him, so he is going to have to put in quite a difficult job. Down to the final braking zone and through the final corner. This is that Sim guy's opportunity to be able to get past. They are practically side by side. He's going to go down the inside. He does get down the inside. I think Mr. Cookie's going to probably now try and wait for the next overtaking opportunities. Oh, gets a little leery there on exit. As J-Horse has managed to sneak down the inside there. Mr. Cookie just about gets in front, and that Sim guy falls all the way to the bottom of the grid. I say bottom of the grid, I mean bottom of the podium. These are the podium positions battling. Mr. Cookie with a time penalty though is looking in a really dire position. It's only 3 seconds, but it demotes him all the way down to P3. So he's got a lot to do to be able to catch up. J-Horse now in the perfect opportunity to be able to get past on track. It's that 25 and 29, and he is past, and that Sim guy also takes a little look up the inside. Mr. Cookie just about keeping him off, but it was close. Horse now comfortably at the front, but could that be not for long? Mr. Cookie has got the inside line here. He's gonna get this slightly better around the corner, but J-Horse does get the better exit, but it is going to be Mr. Cookie that gets the run down to turn 4. He's gonna have to go around the outside, getting very much Verstappen Hamilton vibes here from the 2021 season, but J-Horse holds the line. Killers is out of the session, so in quite a dangerous location. I'm surprised no virtual safety car or no safety car, possibly due to just positioning, just the amount of laps we have left. We'd probably finish under a safety car if that was to occur, so unsurprisingly that isn't going to take place. Mr. Cookie had another good opportunity there to get up into a good position to take over. Couldn't quite get it though. Mr. Cookie now beginning to lose time to J Horse, nearly a second towards the end of that lap. So it's clear that J Horse has now got those fresher tyres, definitely making some difference. But Mr. Cookie does have DRS, and with 2 laps remaining, is it going to be enough to be able to win this race, or is it going to be Mr. Cookie looking rather dire here, and it's a Haas going slowly. I think that's Alexis Sanchez, and oh no, my controller's died. Of all times, it had to be right at the end of the race, didn't it? Oh, for God's sake, no! Oh, where's my charger? Where's my charger? We've got a charge on the final lap of the race. J Horse has managed to stay in front, and he most likely will take home the race lead now. Nearly 15 seconds in front of everyone else. These two have battled it out. Only from the final pit stop these boys have battled it out. Other than that, it was Mr. Cookie, that sim guy. Although that sim guy had to take another stop, possibly due to damage. So all of a sudden, what was an amazing AlphaTauri weekend has gone so very wrong for them. And he comes into the final braking zone for the final time. J Horse comes across to win in the Ferrari at Bahrain, and it's Mr. Cookie coming across in second place in the Aston Martin. What an absolutely great result it was for him today, as the fireworks begin to pop, and Joachim, doing a 3-stopper, has pulled this out the bag and has got on P3. Mechanical Cole gets P4 with Ryan or Hyensen in P5. Adrian Gray will be the next to cross the line, most likely. The fireworks still popping. He comes across the line, P6. Chaz Knight Rider, another 3-stopper in P7. And DPRW finishing just on a single stop. And the final man to finish. And what a result it is for the Ferrari today. J Horse winning the race comfortably, and Mr. Cookie coming in P2 with the fastest lap. It was then Joachim the Swede in P3 and Mechanical Cole P4. R. Henson P5, Aiden P6, Chaz Knight Rider P7, DPLW P8. That same guy came in P9, a lap down. Smiley in P10, Crazy Dutchman P11, Quick Killers P12, Alexa Sanchez P13, Scotty P14, Era Blake P15, and Never Fear Andy's here P16. That's all for today. Thank you all very much for watching. It was a bit boring at times, but oh well. You know, not a whole lot of action in particular areas and then a lot of action in others. But it was a fun one to commentate over, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I've been the Constructors. Thank you.